We got a question from one of our subscribers. It's, hi Kevin, did you ever smoke? If so, would you say stopping drinking is the same as stopping smoking? It's similar. It is a habit that you're trying to get rid of. It's a bad habit that you're trying to get rid of, but it's different in a lot of ways as well, right? So for me, I smoked for a long time, probably longer than I started smoking when I was probably 9 or 8 or 9 or something like that. And I was smoking right throughout my teenage years. It was something that I tried to stop over 100 times, and there's a lot of different reasons why that didn't work. I think immaturity was one of the reasons. I was also a drinker, so anytime I drank, it was the death knell to me stopping smoking as well. You have a few pints and stuff, you relax a bit, your inhibitions fall, and you don't really care anymore. So that was one of the things that happened. But I eventually stopped. It was probably 2 or 3 years before I stopped drinking. So I was smoke free when I stopped, and it probably helped me to stop drinking as well. But I didn't find that it was the same. I didn't get the same cravings. Basically, when you're talking about cravings for smoking, you've got cravings from the time that you get up in the morning. If you're, most people smoke all day long, so they have a cigarette when they get up. Either, I was a person, I couldn't smoke. First thing, I had to have a cup of tea first, and then I'd have my first cigarette with the cup of tea. Other people, as soon as they wake up, they spark up a cigarette. But anyway. The idea is that you're smoking all the way through the day, so you've got that constant craving when you don't smoke anymore, and that's a difficulty. Whereas with alcohol, you've got the cravings more. Most people don't drink during the day, or they don't drink during the day during the week, so the cravings for them are based around that time in the evening when they would start drinking, maybe 5, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the evening. So all throughout the day, even though they might have the anticipation of the drink, they're not really going to start drinking until, or they don't really get the real proper cravings until later on in the day. It's also a similar thing in terms of alcohol. We talk about alcohol saying, just don't put the alcohol into your mouth. And it's the same thing with cigarettes. In order to stop, you've just got to make the decision. I'm not going to put any more cigarettes into my mouth. I'm not going to light any more cigarettes. That's the point, isn't it? If you can put the cigarette into your mouth, but as long as you don't light it, then you're not going to be a smoker anymore. As long as you don't light it and start breathing in the smoke, as they say. Another point is public perception. More and more cigarette smoking is being perceived as a dumb habit, and smokers are being perceived as people who are lacking in self-control. It's not being seen as anything wise to do, because the scientific proof is out. There's so much overwhelmingly. There's an overwhelming scientific proof that any amount of smoking is bad for you. So we haven't got there with alcohol yet. So I think it's going to take a lot of pressure, a lot of time as well, especially for young people. I see it now. I hear young people talking about drinking alcohol as dumb. Is dumb. And it's going to take that next generation to come out and basically not be doing that, So it's going to take that younger generation to grow up, and for that perception to alter altogether. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe down below. You'll get notifications of any videos that we're putting up. We're going to also do, I think, a course on this over on V2 for everyone who's a member over there. I think it's an important thing just to, we've a lot of smokers. I was a drinker and a smoker for many years, so it's a really helpful perspective. I think, just to see things from that, the general principles of this are the same. The general principles of you must control yourself. You are the one that has that control, whether to put the cigarette into your mouth, whether to put the alcohol into your mouth, whether to put the 4-cheese pizza into your mouth. It's all down to you. And it's I suppose the underlying, the triggers, it depends what you do. I think you tend to hang around with smokers, you tend to hang around with drinkers. That was my perception anyway. Triggers were different for me with alcohol, but it's the triggering mechanism itself is the same. It's just that the triggers might be firing off more when you're a smoker than a drinker. And I guess the one similarity that I will say, in the beginning it's going to be different, like I say, in a lot of different ways, a lot of small ways, but it's in the long term where it really matters, what you do with yourself in the long term, how you change the way you think, your base thinking, how you change the way you look at yourself, your values, your personal values, your value hierarchy, how you care about your own health and well-being, how you care about living a long and quality life, how you care about the future rather than thinking just about the present and getting that instant fix, so you have to change a lot of your core beliefs, your core values, and just your ideas, really. So that's my take on it. I think, there's more similarities than there are differences. The differences are probably more in the early few weeks, I think, rather than anything else, and it's more in triggering and responses and how long you get the cravings for, that kind of thing. So I'm Kevin O'Hara for Habits Unplugged. We help people to stop drinking alcohol and to start living the best possible versions of themselves. Take care. Onwards and upwards. Bye now.